Let's do it, do it. Let's stir that controversy pot. After a sip of tea. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be taking part in the, been around for a while now, controversial parenting tag. How exciting. Let's ruffle a few feathers. Let's offend a few people. Get it all out there. Why not? I'm ready to lose about 50 followers. I'm gonna do the disclaimer that everybody does at the beginning. Your kids, raise them however you want. These are my views, it's my channel. I'm gonna tell you what I think of things. In no way am I judging people who do things differently, unless you're hurting the kid, and I think you're hurting the kid, then I'll be real, I'll serve the tea. I'm judging a little bit. But hey, you're watching this and you're probably judging me too, and that's what makes humans so great. We're all super different, so it's cool. Just don't hurt kids. Don't hurt your kids or other kids, and we're all good. If you are new to my channel, hello, my name's Eileen. I'm an American expat living in Switzerland. I am pregnant currently, almost 30 weeks, with our beautiful rainbow baby after 7 pregnancy losses and a successful round of IVF. In this Q&A today, I'm gonna try to dip into a little bit of Europe versus the United States. The United States as I know it and remember it. I've lived here almost 10 years, but maybe more insight into how I think Europe, kind of how things are done here. You get what I'm saying. The first controversial topic is, are you pro-life or pro-choice? I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice. I don't need to elaborate on that. It's not even, there's no gray area. It's your body, do whatever the hell you want with it. The next topic is co-sleeping. Co-sleeping, not for me. We didn't do it. We've had friends who have lamented to us that they've been stuck with like a 6-year-old, even 7-year-old in some cases, that still sleep in the bed with them, and how challenging that's been on their marriage and their intimacy. So we kind of made the decision before we had Patrick that we would not co-sleep. With that said, if Patrick has had like a horrendous nightmare, he's never had one, touch wood, or if he's really sick or something like that, then yeah, he'll come into bed with me and Andy will go into the spare bedroom. Sorry, Andy. But I mean, really, I could count that on one hand that that's happened. And I don't think it's damaged Patrick. He sleeps good in his own bed, and that's just worked for us. So no, we didn't co-sleep. But if you wanna do it, fill your boots. Co-sleep the day away, the night away. Next is breastfeeding versus formula feeding. A very hot topic with me because I had a horrendous experience breastfeeding Patrick. I lasted about 3 months. His weight fell to the 0 to 2nd or 3rd percentile because he wasn't getting enough milk. I wrote a piece for the Huffington Post about this. I will link it below about our experience. And I am very pro. Give that baby whatever you want to give that baby to make sure it's fed and to keep your mental health intact, because that's a really important component that doesn't get talked about very much. I tried to breastfeed and really beat myself up and got to a very low place as a result. And I think that formula shouldn't be demonized. And if formula is what's gonna work to feed your baby and keep you sane, then by all means give them formula. With that said, breastfeeders, you guys are awesome. If you can breastfeed your baby, that is so incredible. And full disclosure, with this baby, I'm gonna try my darndest to breastfeed again, but if it's not working, it's not working, and that's fine, I'm gonna have formula. What I do have an issue with that might be a little controversial is people who breastfeed who are not open to formula feeding, or who try to lecture formula feeders about what they did wrong, what they should have done, what they could have done. It doesn't help, it doesn't change the end result, and it just makes the person who can't breastfeed feel like, so I'm really against that. I just think we should support each other. Feed your baby however you want. Line up a class of kindergartners. I will pay $1,000, because I can't afford $1 million, and let's make this realistic. $1,000 to whoever can tell me which one was breastfed and which one was formula fed. Spoiler alert, you can't tell the difference. The kids are gonna be all right. Next is extended breastfeeding. Now, I would be a total hypocrite if I was like, I'm totally against that, when I just said I don't like breastfeeders lecturing me on how I should breastfeed. So if you wanna breastfeed your kid till they're 10, whatever, go for it. Breastfeed your kid as long as you want, that's absolutely fine. I should have prefaced at the beginning of this video, none of my views are gonna be backed up by the research says, it's just my gut feeling. And for me, Even if I breastfed beautifully at a year, I'd be over it. I'd be done. And I think I don't know what the research says, so I'm not even gonna quote research because somebody will correct me in the comments. But for me, a year's good. That's all I do, and I wouldn't do it beyond that. But I don't care what you do with your kid. Whatever works for you and your kid. Breastfeed all you want. Next is circumcision. Again, whatever works for your family. Some people are really for it. Some people are really against it. It's not really the done thing in Europe, I will say that. I think in the United States, kind of people are starting to go off it too, aren't they? Although I think the majority still do it in the United States. I won't share our personal experience with it because that's my husband and my son and the boys in my family's private bits, and you don't need to know about that. So do whatever you want. I don't have a strong opinion on circumcision. Go either way. Next is baby ear piercing. I do have an opinion on this, but I have really, really good friends who have pierced their baby's ears and their young children's ears, and their young children seem happy, so it's all good. But for me, I wouldn't pierce my baby's ears. I think it would kind of be like a rite of passage thing when they're in like middle school or probably middle school would be when I'd think they'd be old enough to make that decision. And if they really wanted it as a treat, I'd be like, look, you're gonna have to be really brave. It's gonna hurt like hell. But if you want to get your ears pierced, then it was something they decided to do and they were present emotionally and everything. That's probably what I would do. I would wait. But some people have the argument that we'll do it when they're a baby because then they won't remember it. So I get that, but yeah, for me, I would just let them make that decision themselves when they're old enough to do so. Next is vaccinations. Vaccinate your kids. I don't know. This is one where people will judge me for my view and I judge a little bit. Vaccinate your kids because you're putting other kids at risk by not doing so, and that's my whole thing. Like, the only time when I feel strongly about something is if a kid's being hurt or somebody's being hurt as a result, and by not vaccinating your kids, you could hurt somebody. With that said, I've had people come at me really aggressively with articles of like different things that have been caused by vaccinations. I know the autism argument's been debunked. Maybe there's other stuff, I don't know. But until there's like strong research to the point that large populations aren't vaccinating, I'm not convinced. Patrick's vaccinated, my next kid will be vaccinated. Science. I haven't done too much of the Europe versus the US, have I? Going back to vaccinations, everybody vaccinates here for the most part, unless they're like super against it, hippie, granola, but yeah, most people vaccinate. The next question is screen time. My answer might surprise you here. I don't really police it a ton. I gotta say, Patrick's never been into TV, so that's been really easy for me. He would never sit in front of a movie. He's never seen a full movie, which is crazy, but he's just not interested in sitting in front of the TV for that long. He's too inquisitive doing other stuff around the house. iPad, he's starting to get into that and he's playing games and stuff. But I have to say two things. One, the future is computers, AI, coding, all that good stuff. I mean, it's not even the future, it's the present. We're there. So to tell my kid they can't have screens at all, I feel like would be hindering him from where the world is. And it's just the reality. They're gonna need to know kind of the basic core, the core principles of technology and all that, blah, blah, blah. Also too, I like to think my son's wicked smart, and I gotta say, he's learned a lot of his intelligence stuff from being on the iPad and watching educational programs, and he's not one that sits and goes like brain numb watching like, I don't know, PJ Masks or Paw Patrol or something like that all day. He doesn't watch that. He watches like science shows. He watches like, I should put a few links below. There's like Binocs on YouTube. There's Science Max, he loves that. There's Mystery Doug. I'll link all these below, but there's really educational shows that, lucky for me, he really is into. And as far as games, he's into like Minecraft, which I think is like a super creative game for kids to play. Monster Physics, which is all about physics. He's into like educational stuff, so I have no issue with that. And I can get stuff done, so it's all good. And I have to say again, he doesn't sit on it for 4 hours because he just isn't interested in doing that. So I've never really had to police it. I'm really lucky. So, next is teen privacy. Now, wouldn't I be so high and mighty if I gave strong views on exactly how I'm gonna parent this? I don't know, he's not a teenager yet. I have one son, he's 5. But I will say, while he's living in my house, he's in my house, I'm responsible for his care and for keeping him safe and protected. So complete living, you know, independently of us knowing anything about him privacy-wise. That's never gonna happen. Sorry up front, dude. When he is old enough to have a phone, there will be a very clear understanding that I can have access to that phone anytime I want, because he lives in my house and kids are not emotionally prepared for what's out there. Good God. Sexting and cyberbullying and all of that, it scares the crap out of me. So there will be a level of transparency between parent-child when that time comes, I think. I don't know, get back to me in, what, 7 years? But I'm hoping that the relationship that we have with our son and our next baby, we don't know what we're having, will be one that we trust them, so we don't have to like police it, but at the same time, if we felt like there was ever a threat or they were in danger in any way or they were really being harassed or anything like that, we could have a dialogue and we'd have visibility to what was going on with them. I hope. You like to hope. Who knows? I don't have teenagers. It wouldn't be all out privacy, but it also won't be all out dictatorship either. So I'm just hoping we'll make it work. I don't know. He's 5. He's cooking, he or she. So what do I know? I don't know what I'm talking about. We'll see. Next is underage kids having sex. My opinion doesn't really matter because underage kids have sex. There's not really a view I can give on that. So for me to come in and be deputy dog and be like, no, do not do that. It wasn't that way when I was a kid. It's not that way now. So my opinion doesn't really matter. It's happening. What I will say is, if my kid's gonna jump, I'm gonna want him to have a pair of shoes. With my children, I want to arm them with proper education in how they can protect themselves so they don't end up with an unwanted pregnancy or, God forbid, a disease or something worse, like who knows. But I'm never gonna be the one that says, don't do that, don't do that. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna trust my kid. Kids are having sex, people. Wake up, it's happening. The next one on the list is spanking. Feel strongly about this. Never gonna spank my kids. I feel really strongly about this. And again, this isn't a thing in Europe. People don't spank their kids. And frankly, in the UK, most of my friends are shocked that people in the United States still spank their kids. They find it so shocking. And now that I've lived here, and even I think when I was in the States, I'm shocked by it too. Like, that's like a physical assault. If I ever hit somebody in public, I'd be arrested. So why can I hit my child? I mean, and some people are like, no, spanking's not hitting. It's hitting. I'm sure I'll get a thumbs down or 2 or 3 or an unsubscribe from that. But I do feel strongly, I don't hit my husband. I'm not gonna hit my child. There's other ways that we can work through discipline problems, and we do. We kind of set up our family that we're all one team. Patrick's part of the team, and when he does something, really screws up or he kicks off, it's like, come on, dude, like, we're having so much fun. Why are you doing this? Because now we're not having fun anymore, and that's a shame. Like, kind of get him to think through his actions and behaviors and, you know, get him to come to the realization that he's made a mistake and not have to scare him by using physical force or even like screaming and shouting. Like, I don't know, I sound like, oh, our family's so perfect. It's not. I lose my patience, we all do. But I've never, ever entertained the idea of resorting to physical force to intimidate, scare, or discipline my child. No, no. The next one is home birth. Do whatever you want, have a baby, push it out wherever you want to, whatever works for you. For me, I don't like playing the odds if something went wrong, that there's not an ICU or there's not the full capabilities of a hospital around me. So it's nothing I would ever, 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 ever consider. Patrick was in the ICU for a few days after he was born. Yeah, it's definitely not for me, but I've seen women who have had beautiful experiences with home birth, and I say, you are a strong mama jamma, and have your kid at home if you want to. Sorry, I can't be more controversial. Do it. Pop the kid out. A little skin to skin, watch some Netflix, do your thing. And the last one on the list is public versus homeschool. This is tricky. I can say what works for us, but for the general public, it depends on a lot of things, doesn't it? It depends on the school district you live in. It depends on A lot of people pull kids out for religious purposes. I don't really agree with that. There's a lot of balls to juggle. There's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables. I will say for us, we would never homeschool, and we would never homeschool because frankly, I would be a horrible homeschool teacher. I love my child more than I love myself. I love the precious time that I have with my child. I would not love the precious time I have with my child if I was doing it all day, every day. And the added pressure of hitting all these kind of milestones with him and being responsible for a curriculum and all of that and always having to be on. No, it's not for me. And to be honest, I could never even be a teacher. I bow down to teachers for the patience they have. I don't have it. I have no interest in homeschooling my child. I really like the social aspect that they get in a school. I know homeschools have communities that do social things together, but I really like the structure of the school, and we're really lucky. Patrick goes to an international school surrounded by tons of cultures and tons of amazing experiences. We are so lucky for that opportunity, and it's really great for him. I would never homeschool. I will say people who do homeschool, what I've kind of seen is there is tremendous opportunity in homeschooling. I've seen one family who, they have endless funds. They have tons of money. So when they're learning about, you know, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, they can go to Italy and go see it. Like, I think if you have the financial means and it's something you are really, really passionate about and it works best for your family, homeschool, do it. I do get a little judgmental when I see people who homeschool, but they're not really schooling. Their kids just aren't in school, basically. I think that's crazy. Or you see these crazy cases where there's no regulation and parents are homeschooling, but they end up just neglecting their kids. I mean, that is awful. That's horrendous. But if your intentions are really good and homeschooling works for you, go for it. That's it, guys. I breezed through that a lot quicker than I thought I would, but my views are pretty straightforward. Let me know what you think, if there's anything that really got you going in the comments below. I have to be honest, I'm not gonna engage in like super heated debate on YouTube, but with that said, I love all the people that check out my videos, and I'm happy to hear your views. If there's any other content you want to hear about, please let me know in the comments below. And you can find me over on Instagram. I'm at Eileen Vincett. I post stories often. Check out some of my other videos. Follow the rest of our pregnancy. We've had quite a ride, quite a journey to get here, and I'd love to have you. Wherever you are in the world, have an awesome, awesome day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.